Welcome to our exploration of ancient Egypt, a civilization that has captivated the imagination of people for centuries. Renowned for its remarkable achievements in architecture, art, and governance, ancient Egypt stands as a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. This civilization, which flourished along the banks of the Nile River for over 3 millennia, has left an indelible mark on history, influencing cultures and societies far beyond its geographical boundaries. The significance of ancient Egypt lies not only in its monumental structures, such as the awe-inspiring pyramids and the majestic temples, but also in its contributions to writing, mathematics, and medicine. As we delve into this fascinating topic, we aim to provide an engaging and informative narrative that highlights the mysteries surrounding this ancient world. The pyramids, in particular, have long been a source of intrigue, with their precise construction and alignment sparking countless theories and debates among historians and archaeologists alike. How were these colossal structures built with such precision? What secrets do they hold? These questions continue to fuel our curiosity and drive our desire to uncover the truths of ancient Egypt. Throughout history, many notable figures have been drawn to the allure of this civilization. One such figure is Napoleon Bonaparte, whose expedition to Egypt in the late 18th century not only aimed to expand French influence, but also sparked a renewed interest in Egyptian culture and history. His campaign led to significant discoveries, including the famous Rosetta Stone, which became the key to deciphering Egyptian hieroglyphs and unlocking the language of the ancients. This pivotal moment in history opened the door to understanding the rich tapestry of Egyptian civilization, revealing insights into their beliefs, practices, and daily life. As we embark on this journey through time, we invite you to join us in uncovering the wonders of ancient Egypt, from its enigmatic rulers to its groundbreaking innovations. Together, we will explore the legacies that continue to inspire awe and fascination, ensuring that the story of ancient Egypt remains alive in our collective consciousness. The discovery of the Rosetta Stone is a pivotal moment in the history of Egyptology, marking a significant breakthrough in our understanding of ancient Egyptian civilization. This remarkable artifact was unearthed on July 19, 1799, during Napoleon Bonaparte's military campaign in Egypt. A French soldier named Pierre-François Bouchard stumbled upon the stone while working on the fortifications near the town of Rosetta, now known as Rashid. The stone itself is a granodiorite slab measuring about 114 centimeters high and 72 centimeters wide, and it features inscriptions in 3 scripts: Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphic. This unique combination of languages would prove to be crucial in deciphering the long-lost language of the ancient Egyptians. At the time of its discovery, the significance of the Rosetta Stone was not immediately recognized. However, as scholars began to study the inscriptions, it became clear that the stone held the key to unlocking the mysteries of Egyptian hieroglyphs. The Greek inscription, which was well understood, provided a reference point for translating the other 2 scripts. This was a groundbreaking moment, as hieroglyphs had been a source of confusion and intrigue for centuries. The ability to read these ancient symbols opened up a new world of knowledge about the beliefs, practices, and daily life of the Egyptians. The importance of the Rosetta Stone in the field of Egyptology cannot be overstated. Before its discovery, hieroglyphs were largely a mystery, with scholars unable to decipher their meanings. The stone's inscriptions, which detail a decree issued in 196 BC during the reign of Ptolemy V, provided a wealth of information about the political and social landscape of ancient Egypt. As researchers like Jean-François Champollion began to analyze the stone, they realized that the Greek text could be used as a guide to interpret the hieroglyphs. Champollion's breakthrough in 1822, when he successfully deciphered the hieroglyphic script, marked the beginning of a new era in the study of ancient Egypt. The impact of the Rosetta Stone on Egyptology was profound. It not only facilitated the translation of hieroglyphs, but also sparked a renewed interest in ancient Egyptian culture and history. Scholars and enthusiasts alike were eager to learn more about this fascinating civilization, leading to a surge in archaeological expeditions and research. The stone itself became a symbol of the quest for knowledge, representing the intersection of language, history, and culture. In addition to its linguistic significance, the Rosetta Stone also serves as a reminder of the complex interactions between different cultures. Napoleon's expedition to Egypt was not merely a military endeavor, it was also a cultural exchange that brought European scholars into contact with the rich heritage of ancient Egypt. The stone's discovery highlighted the importance of collaboration and cross-cultural dialogue in the pursuit of knowledge. As researchers from various backgrounds came together to study the stone and its inscriptions, they contributed to a broader understanding of ancient Egyptian civilization. Today, the Rosetta Stone is housed in the British Museum, where it continues to attract millions of visitors each year. Its presence in the museum serves as a testament to the enduring fascination with ancient Egypt and the ongoing quest to uncover its secrets. The stone has become an iconic symbol of Egyptology, representing the triumph of human curiosity and intellect in the face of historical mysteries. In conclusion, the discovery of the Rosetta Stone was a watershed moment in the study of ancient Egypt. Unearthed by a French soldier during Napoleon's expedition, the stone provided the crucial link needed to translate Egyptian hieroglyphs, unlocking the language of a civilization that had long been shrouded in mystery. Its significance extends beyond linguistics. It has had a lasting impact on the field of Egyptology, inspiring generations of scholars and enthusiasts to delve deeper into the rich tapestry of ancient Egyptian history. As we continue to explore the wonders of this remarkable civilization, the Rosetta Stone remains a powerful reminder of the importance of discovery, collaboration, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. The Nile River played a crucial role in the development of ancient Egyptian civilization, serving as the lifeblood of the society that flourished along its banks for thousands of years. This majestic river, which stretches over 4,000 miles, is the longest river in the world and has been a vital source of water, sustenance, and transportation for the people of Egypt. The Nile provided the essential resources needed for agriculture, which in turn supported a growing population and enabled the rise of one of history's most remarkable civilizations. Agriculture in ancient Egypt was heavily reliant on the Nile, as the river's waters were essential for irrigation. The surrounding desert landscape was arid and inhospitable, making it impossible to cultivate crops without the river's life-giving water. The Egyptians developed an intricate system of irrigation channels and basins to harness the Nile's flow, allowing them to cultivate a variety of crops, including wheat, barley, flax, and papyrus. These crops not only provided food for the population, but also supported trade and economic growth, as surplus produce could be exchanged for goods and services. The Nile's role in agriculture was fundamental to the sustenance of the Egyptian people, enabling them to thrive in an otherwise challenging environment. One of the most significant aspects of the Nile's influence on agriculture was the annual flooding that occurred each year. This natural phenomenon, known as the inundation, typically took place between June and September, when the river overflowed its banks due to seasonal rains in the Ethiopian highlands. The floods deposited nutrient-rich silt onto the surrounding land, creating a fertile floodplain that was ideal for farming. This cycle of flooding and sediment deposition was predictable and reliable, allowing the Egyptians to plan their agricultural activities around it. The inundation not only replenished the soil, but also ensured that the crops received the necessary water to grow, leading to bountiful harvests. The significance of the Nile's annual floods cannot be overstated. They were the cornerstone of Egyptian agriculture and played a vital role in the civilization's stability and prosperity. The Egyptians developed a deep understanding of the river's cycles, which allowed them to optimize their farming practices and maximize their yields. This agricultural abundance supported a growing population, leading to the establishment of cities, trade networks, and a complex social structure. The Nile was not just a source of water, it was the foundation upon which ancient Egyptian civilization was built. The historian Herodotus famously referred to Egypt as the gift of the Nile. a phrase that encapsulates the profound relationship between the river and the civilization it nurtured. Herodotus, often called the father of history, recognized that the Nile was more than just a geographical feature. It was the very essence of Egyptian life. This sentiment reflects the deep reverence that the ancient Egyptians held for the river, which they viewed as a divine blessing. The Nile was central to their mythology and religious practices, with many gods and goddesses associated with its waters. The river was seen as a source of life, fertility, and sustenance, and its annual floods were celebrated as a vital event in the agricultural calendar. In addition to its agricultural significance, the Nile also facilitated trade and communication between different regions of Egypt. The river served as a natural highway, allowing goods, people, and ideas to flow freely along its banks. This connectivity contributed to the cultural exchange and economic prosperity that characterized ancient Egyptian civilization. The ability to transport goods via the Nile made it easier for the Egyptians to engage in trade with neighboring cultures, further enriching their society. Moreover, the Nile's importance extended beyond agriculture and trade. It also played a crucial role in the development of Egyptian society and governance. The river's predictable flooding patterns allowed for the establishment of a centralized administration that could effectively manage agricultural production and resource distribution. The pharaohs, who were considered divine rulers, relied on the Nile to maintain their power and authority. The successful management of the river's resources was seen as a reflection of a pharaoh's ability to govern, and the prosperity of the land was often attributed to their divine favor. In conclusion, the Nile River was instrumental in shaping the development of ancient Egyptian civilization. It provided the essential water needed for agriculture, supported a growing population, and facilitated trade and communication. The annual floods enriched the soil, ensuring bountiful harvests and contributing to the stability and prosperity of the society. Herodotus's assertion that Egypt is the gift of the Nile underscores the profound connection between the river and the civilization it nurtured. The Nile was not merely a geographical feature, it was the very foundation of life in ancient Egypt, influencing every aspect of society, culture, and governance. As we reflect on the significance of the Nile, we gain a deeper appreciation for the intricate relationship between nature and civilization, and how this powerful river shaped the course of history in one of the world's most remarkable cultures. The geographical divisions of ancient Egypt played a crucial role in shaping its history, culture, and governance. The two primary regions of ancient Egypt were Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt, each with distinct characteristics and historical significance. Upper Egypt is located in the southern part of the country, stretching from the area around Aswan to just south of modern-day Cairo. This region is characterized by its narrow valley along the Nile River, flanked by the surrounding desert. In contrast, Lower Egypt is situated in the northern part of the country, encompassing the Nile Delta, where the river spreads out and drains into the Mediterranean Sea. This area is marked by its fertile land and abundant agricultural resources, making it a vital region for the sustenance of ancient Egyptian civilization. The historical significance of these geographical divisions is profound, particularly in the context of the unification of Egypt. Around 3000 BC, King Narmer, also known as Menez, is credited with the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt, marking the beginning of the early dynastic period. This monumental event is often depicted in the Narmer Palette, an archaeological artifact that illustrates Narmer's victory over his enemies and his role in bringing together the two regions. The unification of Upper and Lower Egypt was not merely a political achievement. It represented the consolidation of power and the establishment of a centralized state. This new political entity allowed for greater stability, economic growth, and cultural exchange, laying the foundation for the remarkable civilization that would follow. The symbolism associated with the crowns worn by the pharaohs further underscores the significance of this unification. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt wore two distinct crowns, each representing one of the two regions. The crown of Upper Egypt, known as the White Crown or Hedjet, is tall and conical, symbolizing the southern region's strength and authority. In contrast, the crown of Lower Egypt, called the Red Crown or Deshret, is characterized by its flat-top design, representing the northern region's fertility and abundance. When King Narmer unified the two kingdoms, he is often depicted wearing both crowns simultaneously, symbolizing his rule over all of Egypt and the harmony between the two regions. This dual crown, known as the Pshent, became a powerful emblem of the pharaoh's authority and the unity of the nation. The unification of Upper and Lower Egypt had far-reaching implications for the development of ancient Egyptian civilization. It facilitated the establishment of a centralized government, which allowed for more effective administration and resource management. The pharaohs, as divine rulers, were able to exert their influence over the entire country, promoting a sense of national identity and cultural cohesion. This unification also paved the way for the construction of monumental architecture, such as temples and pyramids, which served as symbols of the pharaoh's power and the divine order of the universe. Moreover, the geographical divisions of ancient Egypt influenced trade and communication. The Nile River served as a natural highway, connecting the two regions and facilitating the movement of goods, people, and ideas. The fertile lands of Lower Egypt allowed for agricultural surplus, which could be traded with the more arid Upper Egypt. This exchange of resources contributed to the economic prosperity of the unified kingdom and fostered cultural interactions that enriched Egyptian society. The significance of Upper and Lower Egypt is also reflected in the religious beliefs and practices of the ancient Egyptians. Each region had its own patron deities, and the unification of the two kingdoms led to the merging of religious traditions. The worship of gods such as Horus, associated with Upper Egypt, and Seth, linked to Lower Egypt, became intertwined, creating a more cohesive religious framework. This blending of beliefs further reinforced the idea of unity and stability under the pharaoh's rule. In conclusion, the geographical divisions of ancient Egypt, Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt, were not merely physical distinctions. They were foundational elements that shaped the course of Egyptian history. The unification of these two regions by King Narmer around 3000 BC marked a significant turning point, leading to the establishment of a centralized state and the flourishing of one of the world's most remarkable civilizations. The symbolism of the crowns worn by the pharaohs, representing the unity of Upper and Lower Egypt, serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of this historical event. As we explore the rich tapestry of ancient Egyptian civilization, it becomes clear that the geographical divisions and their unification were instrumental in fostering a sense of identity, stability, and cultural richness that would endure for millennia. The legacy of this unification continues to resonate, reminding us of the profound impact that geography can have on the development of societies and their histories. The pre-dynastic period in ancient Egypt, spanning from approximately 6000 to 3150 BCE, represents a formative era in the development of one of history's most remarkable civilizations. This period is characterized by significant social, cultural, and technological advancements that laid the groundwork for the subsequent dynastic phases of Egyptian history. During these millennia, the early Egyptians transitioned from nomadic lifestyles to settled agricultural communities, leading to the establishment of complex societies along the fertile banks of the Nile River. Archaeological findings from this period provide valuable insights into the cultural practices and daily lives of early Egyptians. Excavations at sites such as Merimde, Mahdi, and Nabta Playa have uncovered evidence of early settlements, including tools, pottery, and burial practices. These artifacts reveal that the inhabitants of these communities engaged in various activities, including hunting, fishing, and gathering, before gradually adopting agriculture as a primary means of sustenance. The development of pottery, for instance, indicates a shift towards more permanent settlements, as it allowed for the storage and preparation of food. Additionally, the discovery of flint tools and grinding stones suggests that early Egyptians were beginning to cultivate grains, marking a significant step towards agricultural practices. One of the most significant archaeological sites from the pre-dynastic period is the Thiam Oasis, located in the western desert of Egypt. This oasis played a crucial role in the development of agriculture, serving as a vital resource for early communities. The Thiam Oasis provided access to water and fertile land, enabling the cultivation of crops such as barley and wheat. The ability to grow food in this region allowed early Egyptians to settle in one place, fostering the growth of larger, more complex societies. The oasis also served as a hub for trade and interaction between different groups, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural practices. The significance of agriculture during the pre-dynastic period cannot be overstated. As early Egyptians began to cultivate crops, they experienced a transformation in their way of life. The shift from a nomadic existence to settled farming communities led to population growth and the establishment of social hierarchies. With the surplus of food produced through agriculture, communities could support larger populations, leading to the development of specialized labor and the emergence of distinct social classes. This agricultural surplus also enabled the construction of more permanent structures, including homes and communal buildings, further solidifying the foundations of early Egyptian society. In addition to agriculture, the pre-dynastic period saw the emergence of complex religious beliefs and practices. Archaeological evidence suggests that early Egyptians engaged in ritualistic activities, including burial practices that indicate a belief in an afterlife. The discovery of burial sites containing grave goods, such as pottery, tools, and jewelry, reflects the importance of the afterlife in early Egyptian culture. These practices laid the groundwork for the elaborate funerary customs that would later characterize dynastic Egypt, including the construction of monumental tombs and the development of mummification techniques. The pre-dynastic period also witnessed the rise of regional chiefdoms, which would eventually contribute to the unification of Egypt. As communities grew and became more complex, leaders emerged to govern and organize these societies. The consolidation of power among these chiefdoms set the stage for the eventual unification of Upper and Lower Egypt under a single ruler, a pivotal moment in Egyptian history that would occur around 3100 BCE with the reign of King Narmer. The cultural practices and technological advancements of the pre-dynastic period laid the foundation for the achievements of later dynastic Egypt. The development of writing, for instance, can be traced back to this era, as early forms of pictorial symbols began to emerge. These symbols would eventually evolve into the hieroglyphic writing system that became synonymous with ancient Egyptian civilization. The artistic expressions of the pre-dynastic period, as evidenced by pottery and decorative items, also foreshadowed the rich artistic traditions that would flourish in later periods. In conclusion, the pre-dynastic period of ancient Egypt, spanning from 6000 to 3150 BCE, was a transformative era that set the stage for the rise of one of the world's most influential civilizations. Through archaeological findings, we gain insight into the cultural practices, agricultural developments, and social structures of early Egyptians. The significance of the Thiam Oasis in fostering agricultural growth cannot be overstated, as it enabled communities to settle and thrive. As early Egyptians transitioned from nomadic lifestyles to established agricultural societies, they laid the groundwork for the complex social hierarchies, religious beliefs, and technological advancements that would characterize dynastic Egypt. The legacy of the pre-dynastic period continues to resonate, reminding us of the profound impact of these early developments on the course of history in ancient Egypt. The transition from hunter-gatherer societies to agricultural communities in ancient Egypt marks a significant turning point in the development of one of the world's earliest civilizations. This transformation, which occurred over several millennia, was driven by a combination of environmental factors, technological advancements, and social changes. As early Egyptians began to domesticate animals and cultivate crops, they laid the foundation for a more stable and productive way of life that would ultimately lead to the rise of complex societies along the banks of the Nile River. One of the key components of this transition was the domestication of animals. Early hunter-gatherers relied on wild animals for food, but as they settled into more permanent communities, they began to recognize the benefits of domesticating certain species. The domestication of animals such as sheep, goats, and cattle provided early Egyptians with a reliable source of meat, milk, and wool. These animals not only supplemented their diets, but also played a crucial role in agricultural practices. For instance, oxen were used to plow fields, making it easier to cultivate crops and increasing agricultural productivity. The ability to manage and breed livestock allowed these communities to develop a more sustainable food system, reducing their reliance on hunting and gathering. In addition to animal domestication, the cultivation of crops was a pivotal aspect of this transition. The fertile lands along the Nile River provided an ideal environment for agriculture, as the annual floods deposited nutrient-rich silt onto the fields. This natural irrigation system allowed early Egyptians to grow a variety of crops, leading to the establishment of agricultural communities. The Nile marshes, in particular, played a vital role in early farming practices. These wetlands were rich in biodiversity and provided essential resources for both agriculture and fishing. The marshes served as a natural reservoir, ensuring a steady supply of water for crops, while also supporting the growth of aquatic plants and fish that supplemented the diets of early farmers. The types of crops grown by early Egyptians were diverse, with wheat and barley being among the most significant. Wheat, particularly emmer wheat, became a staple food source, providing the carbohydrates necessary for sustaining larger populations. Barley was also widely cultivated, serving not only as a food source, but also as a key ingredient in the production of beer, which held cultural and social significance in ancient Egyptian society. The cultivation of these grains allowed for the development of surplus food, which was essential for supporting larger communities and facilitating trade. As agricultural practices improved, the ability to produce excess crops led to the emergence of specialized labor, as individuals could focus on crafts, trade, and other activities beyond mere subsistence. The transition to agriculture also had profound social implications. As communities settled and began to cultivate the land, they developed more complex social structures. The need for organization in agricultural practices led to the emergence of leadership roles, as individuals took on responsibilities for managing resources, coordinating planting and harvesting, and overseeing the distribution of food. This shift from egalitarian hunter-gatherer societies to more hierarchical agricultural communities laid the groundwork for the development of governance and social stratification. Moreover, the establishment of agricultural communities fostered a sense of permanence and stability. As people began to build homes and establish settlements, they developed a stronger connection to the land. This newfound stability allowed for the growth of cultural practices, including the development of religious beliefs centered around agriculture and the cycles of nature. The Nile River, with its predictable flooding patterns, became a central element in the spiritual life of early Egyptians, symbolizing fertility, life, and renewal. The transition from hunter-gatherer societies to agricultural communities in ancient Egypt was not an isolated phenomenon. It was part of a broader trend observed in various regions around the world. However, the unique environmental conditions of the Nile Valley played a crucial role in shaping the specific trajectory of Egyptian civilization. The combination of fertile land, a reliable water source, and the domestication of plants and animals created an environment conducive to agricultural development. In conclusion, the transition from hunter-gatherer societies to agricultural communities in ancient Egypt was a transformative process that laid the foundation for one of the world's earliest civilizations. The domestication of animals and the cultivation of crops, particularly wheat and barley, enabled early Egyptians to establish stable food sources and develop complex social structures. The importance of the Nile marshes in providing fertile land and water for farming cannot be overstated, as they facilitated the growth of agricultural practices that supported larger populations. This transition marked a significant shift in human history, leading to the rise of permanent settlements, specialized labor, and the eventual emergence of a rich cultural and political landscape that would define ancient Egypt for millennia to come. As we reflect on this pivotal moment, we gain a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity and adaptability of early Egyptians, whose innovations in agriculture set the stage for the remarkable achievements of their civilization. The early dynastic period of ancient Egypt, which spanned from approximately 3100 to 2686 BCE, was a time of remarkable cultural advancements that laid the foundation for one of the most influential civilizations in history. This era followed the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt under the rule of King Narmer and marked the transition from pre-dynastic tribal societies to more complex, centralized states. The emergence of these complex societies was characterized by the establishment of social hierarchies, the consolidation of power among tribal chieftains, and significant developments in various cultural practices. As the early dynastic period unfolded, the role of tribal chieftains evolved into that of powerful leaders who governed larger territories. These chieftains, who had previously held authority over smaller groups, became the pharaohs, viewed as divine rulers with absolute power. The pharaohs were not only political leaders but also religious figures, believed to be the intermediaries between the gods and the people. This dual role allowed them to consolidate their authority and maintain social order, as they were seen as responsible for the prosperity and well-being of the land. The establishment of a centralized government facilitated the development of administrative systems, enabling the efficient management of resources, labor, and trade. One of the most significant cultural advancements during this period was the evolution of burial practices, which reflected the growing importance of the afterlife in Egyptian belief systems. The early dynastic Egyptians began to construct elaborate tombs for their deceased, moving away from simple burial practices. The significance of these burial practices is evident in the construction of mastabas, flat-roofed structures built over burial sites, which served as precursors to the more monumental pyramids that would follow. These tombs were often filled with grave goods, including pottery, jewelry, and tools, reflecting the belief that the deceased would need these items in the afterlife. The development of mummification during the early dynastic period marked a significant advancement in burial practices. While the practice of preserving bodies had existed in some form prior to this period, it became more sophisticated and widespread during the early dynastic era. Mummification was rooted in the belief that the preservation of the body was essential for the soul's journey in the afterlife. The process involved the removal of internal organs, desiccation of the body using natron, and wrapping the body in linen. This meticulous process not only demonstrated the Egyptians' advanced understanding of anatomy and preservation techniques, but also highlighted their deep spiritual beliefs regarding life after death. The emphasis on mummification and elaborate burial practices underscored the importance of the afterlife in Egyptian culture, influencing artistic expressions, religious practices, and social structures for centuries to come. Trade and cultural exchanges with neighboring regions also played a crucial role in the cultural advancements of the early dynastic period. As Egypt emerged as a centralized state, it became increasingly engaged in trade with neighboring cultures, including Nubia to the south, the Levant to the northeast, and the Mediterranean regions. This trade facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies, enriching Egyptian society and contributing to its cultural development. The Egyptians traded valuable resources such as gold, copper, and ivory, while also acquiring luxury items like cedar wood, lapis lazuli, and other exotic materials that were not readily available in Egypt. The importance of trade during this period cannot be overstated. It not only provided access to essential resources, but also fostered cultural interactions that influenced art, religion, and technology. For instance, the introduction of new artistic styles and techniques from neighboring regions can be seen in the pottery and decorative items produced during the early dynastic period. Additionally, the exchange of ideas and religious beliefs contributed to the development of a more complex spiritual landscape. as the Egyptians incorporated elements from other cultures into their own practices. The early dynastic period also witnessed advancements in writing and record-keeping, which were essential for the administration of the growing state. The development of hieroglyphics, a system of pictorial writing, allowed for the documentation of religious texts, administrative records, and monumental inscriptions. This advancement in writing not only facilitated communication and governance, but also played a significant role in the preservation of Egyptian culture and history. The ability to record events, rituals, and achievements ensured that the legacy of the early dynastic period would endure for future generations. In conclusion, the early dynastic period of ancient Egypt was a time of profound cultural advancements that shaped the trajectory of one of history's most influential civilizations. The emergence of complex societies, characterized by the consolidation of power among tribal chieftains and the establishment of centralized governance, laid the groundwork for the development of a rich cultural landscape. The significance of burial practices and the evolution of mummification reflected the Egyptians' deep spiritual beliefs regarding the afterlife, while trade and cultural exchanges with neighboring regions enriched their society and contributed to their artistic and technological advancements. As we explore this pivotal period in Egyptian history, we gain a deeper appreciation for the innovations and cultural developments that would define ancient Egypt for millennia to come, leaving an enduring legacy that continues to captivate the world today. The Old Kingdom period of ancient Egypt, often referred to as the Age of the Pyramids, spanned from approximately 2686 to 2181 BCE, and is renowned for its monumental achievements, particularly in architecture and governance. This era marked a time of remarkable stability and prosperity, during which the pharaohs consolidated their power and commissioned some of the most iconic structures in human history, the pyramids. These monumental constructions not only served as royal tombs, but also symbolized the pharaoh's divine authority and the centralization of the state. The construction of the pyramids stands as one of the most significant architectural achievements of the Old Kingdom. The most famous of these structures is the Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu, also known as Cheops. This pyramid, completed around 2560 BCE, is one of the seven wonders of the ancient world and remains a testament to the ingenuity and skill of ancient Egyptian architects and laborers. The Great Pyramid originally stood at an impressive height of 146.6 meters, 481 feet, and was constructed using approximately 2.3 million blocks of limestone and granite, each weighing between 2.5 to 15 tons. The precision with which these massive stones were cut and assembled is a remarkable feat of engineering, showcasing the advanced understanding of mathematics and geometry possessed by the ancient Egyptians. The architectural significance of the pyramids extends beyond their sheer size and grandeur. They were designed to reflect the pharaoh's divine status and to facilitate his journey to the afterlife. The pyramid's shape, with its sloping sides, is believed to symbolize the rays of the sun, allowing the pharaoh to ascend to the heavens and join the gods. The construction of these monumental tombs required not only skilled labor, but also a well-organized workforce, which was a reflection of the bureaucratic structure that characterized the Old Kingdom. Key figures such as Pharaoh Khufu played a pivotal role in the monumental achievements of the Old Kingdom. Khufu, the second pharaoh of the Fourth Dynasty, is often credited with the establishment of the pyramid as the royal tomb. His reign was marked by extensive building projects, including the Great Pyramid, which served as a symbol of his power and the centralized authority of the pharaoh. Khufu's ambitious vision for the pyramid complex included not only the main pyramid, but also mortuary temples, smaller pyramids for queens, and a causeway connecting the pyramid to the Nile River. This complex served as a focal point for religious rituals and offerings, reinforcing the connection between the pharaoh and the divine. The role of the vizier was crucial in the administration of the Old Kingdom and the successful execution of monumental projects like the pyramids. The vizier was the highest-ranking official in the pharaoh's court, serving as the chief advisor and overseer of the state's affairs. This position was akin to that of a prime minister, responsible for managing the bureaucracy, overseeing construction projects, and ensuring the efficient collection of taxes. The vizier played a vital role in coordinating the labor force required for pyramid construction, which involved thousands of workers, including skilled artisans, laborers, and support staff. The bureaucratic structure of ancient Egypt during the Old Kingdom was highly organized and hierarchical. Below the pharaoh and the vizier were various officials responsible for different aspects of governance, including tax collection, agriculture, and trade. This administrative system allowed for the effective management of resources and labor, which was essential for the ambitious building projects of the time. The organization of labor for pyramid construction is particularly noteworthy. It is believed that workers were not slaves, as often portrayed, but rather a well-fed and skilled labor force that participated in these monumental projects as a form of national service. Evidence suggests that workers were organized into crews, each responsible for specific tasks, and were provided with food, shelter, and medical care. The Old Kingdom was also a time of significant cultural and artistic advancements. The construction of the pyramids was accompanied by the development of intricate burial practices and religious beliefs centered around the afterlife. The pharaohs were viewed as divine beings, and their tombs were filled with grave goods, including jewelry, furniture, and food, to ensure their comfort in the afterlife. The art and architecture of this period reflected a deep reverence for the gods and the importance of the afterlife, with elaborate wall paintings and inscriptions adorning the interiors of tombs and temples. In conclusion, the Old Kingdom period of ancient Egypt was marked by monumental achievements that defined the civilization's architectural and cultural legacy. The construction of the pyramids, particularly the Great Pyramid of Giza under Pharaoh Khufu, stands as a testament to the ingenuity and organizational skills of the ancient Egyptians. The role of the vizier and the bureaucratic structure of the state were instrumental in managing the resources and labor required for these ambitious projects. As we examine this remarkable era, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of ancient Egyptian society and the enduring impact of its monumental achievements on the course of human history. The pyramids not only served as royal tombs, but also as symbols of the pharaoh's divine authority, reflecting the intricate relationship between governance, religion, and architecture in ancient Egypt. The role of the pharaoh in ancient Egyptian society was multifaceted and deeply intertwined with the religious, political, and social fabric of the civilization. As the supreme ruler, the pharaoh was not only a political leader, but also a divine figure, believed to be the earthly embodiment of the gods. This divine status conferred upon the pharaoh a unique set of responsibilities and powers that were essential for maintaining order and prosperity in ancient Egypt. The divine status of the pharaoh was rooted in the belief that he was chosen by the gods to rule and maintain Ma'at, the ancient Egyptian concept of truth, balance, and cosmic order. The pharaoh was seen as the intermediary between the gods and the people, responsible for ensuring that the will of the gods was carried out on earth. This divine connection was reinforced through various rituals and ceremonies, including the coronation, where the pharaoh would receive the crowns of Upper and Lower Egypt, symbolizing his authority over the entire kingdom. The pharaoh's divine status was further emphasized by the belief that he would continue to exist in the afterlife as a god, which justified the monumental construction of elaborate tombs and pyramids to house his body and possessions. In addition to his divine role, the pharaoh had numerous responsibilities that encompassed governance, military leadership, and religious duties. As the head of state, the pharaoh was responsible for making laws, collecting taxes, and overseeing the administration of the kingdom. He appointed officials, including the vizier, who acted as his chief advisor and managed the day-to-day affairs of the state. The pharaoh also commanded the military, leading campaigns to protect Egypt's borders and expand its territories. This military prowess was crucial for maintaining the security and stability of the kingdom, as well as for securing valuable resources through conquest. The relationship between the pharaoh and the priesthood was another critical aspect of ancient Egyptian society. The priests held significant power and influence, serving as the custodians of religious knowledge and rituals. They were responsible for maintaining the temples, conducting ceremonies, and performing offerings to the gods. The pharaoh relied on the priesthood to legitimize his rule and reinforce his divine status. In return, the priests benefited from the pharaoh's patronage, receiving land, wealth, and resources to support their religious activities. This symbiotic relationship was essential for the functioning of ancient Egyptian society. The pharaoh's role as the high priest of every temple allowed him to maintain control over religious practices and ensure that the gods were appeased. The priests, in turn, played a crucial role in promoting the pharaoh's image as a divine ruler, conducting rituals that emphasized his connection to the gods. This collaboration between the pharaoh and the priesthood helped to solidify the social hierarchy and maintain the stability of the kingdom. The pharaoh's role in maintaining order and prosperity was paramount in ancient Egypt. The concept of Ma'at was central to this responsibility, as it represented the balance and harmony necessary for the well-being of the state. The pharaoh was expected to uphold Ma'at by ensuring justice, fairness, and order within society. This included resolving disputes, protecting the weak, and providing for the needs of the people. The pharaoh's ability to maintain Ma'at was seen as a reflection of his divine favor, and any failure to do so could result in chaos and disorder. To ensure prosperity, the pharaoh implemented various agricultural and economic policies. The Nile River, with its annual floods, provided fertile land for agriculture, and the pharaoh oversaw the management of irrigation systems to maximize crop yields. By promoting agricultural production, the pharaoh could ensure food security for the population, which was essential for maintaining social stability. Additionally, the pharaoh facilitated trade with neighboring regions, acquiring valuable resources and goods that contributed to the wealth of the kingdom. The pharaoh's role extended beyond mere governance. He was also a patron of the arts and architecture. The construction of monumental temples, tombs, and pyramids served not only as expressions of the pharaoh's power, but also as a means of promoting cultural identity and religious devotion. These grand structures were designed to honor the gods and ensure the pharaoh's legacy, reinforcing the belief in the divine nature of his rule. In times of crisis, such as famine, invasion, or natural disasters, the pharaoh's leadership was crucial in rallying the people and restoring order. The pharaoh was expected to take decisive action to address these challenges, often invoking the support of the gods through rituals and offerings. This ability to respond effectively to crises further solidified the pharaoh's status as a divine ruler, capable of maintaining the balance of Ma'at even in the face of adversity. In conclusion, the role of the pharaoh in ancient Egyptian society was central to the civilization's political, religious, and social structure. As a divine figure, the pharaoh was responsible for maintaining Ma'at, ensuring justice, and promoting prosperity. The relationship between the pharaoh and the priesthood was essential for legitimizing his rule and reinforcing his divine status. Through effective governance, military leadership, and patronage of the arts, the pharaoh played a crucial role in shaping the cultural identity of ancient Egypt and ensuring the stability and continuity of the kingdom. The legacy of the pharaohs continues to resonate today, as their monumental achievements and profound influence on society remain a testament to the enduring power of leadership and the complexities of ancient Egyptian civilization. The decline of the Old Kingdom, which lasted from approximately 2686 to 2181 BCE, marked a significant turning point in ancient Egyptian history. This period, often celebrated for its monumental achievements, particularly in architecture and governance, ultimately succumbed to a series of internal and external challenges that undermined the stability of the monarchy and the centralized authority of the pharaohs. Several factors contributed to this decline, including internal strife, the rise of provincial governors, and the impact of famine and economic instability. One of the primary factors leading to the decline of the Old Kingdom was the internal strife and challenges faced by the monarchy. As the power of the pharaohs grew, so too did the expectations placed upon them. The pharaoh was seen as the divine ruler responsible for maintaining Ma'at, the cosmic order, and ensuring the prosperity of the kingdom. However, as the demands of governance increased, the pharaohs struggled to maintain control over their vast territories. The centralized authority that had characterized the Old Kingdom began to weaken, leading to a series of succession crises and power struggles within the royal family. These internal conflicts were exacerbated by the growing discontent among the populace, particularly among the lower classes and laborers who were tasked with the monumental building projects, such as the construction of pyramids and temples. The immense resources required for these projects often came at the expense of the common people, leading to resentment and unrest. As the pharaohs became increasingly preoccupied with their monumental ambitions, they neglected the needs of their subjects, which further fueled dissatisfaction and internal strife. The rise of provincial governors, or nomarchs, also played a crucial role in the decline of the Old Kingdom. As the centralized authority of the pharaoh weakened, these local leaders began to assert their power and autonomy. The nomarchs were responsible for governing specific regions, collecting taxes, and overseeing agricultural production. Initially, they served as loyal administrators under the pharaoh, but as the central authority diminished, many nomarchs began to act independently, prioritizing their own interests over those of the kingdom. This fragmentation of power led to a loss of cohesion within the state, as regional governors competed for resources and influence, undermining the unity that had characterized the Old Kingdom. The increasing autonomy of the nomarchs resulted in a decline in the pharaoh's authority, as local leaders began to establish their own power bases. This shift in power dynamics weakened the central government and made it difficult for the pharaoh to enforce laws and collect taxes effectively. The erosion of central authority contributed to a lack of coordination in governance, which further exacerbated the challenges faced by the kingdom. In addition to internal strife and the rise of provincial governors, the Old Kingdom was also severely impacted by famine and economic instability. The Nile River, which had been the lifeblood of Egyptian agriculture, experienced fluctuations in its annual flooding patterns. These changes, possibly due to climate shifts or environmental factors, led to periods of drought and reduced agricultural productivity. As a result, food shortages became increasingly common, placing immense strain on the population and the economy. The impact of famine on the kingdom was profound. With diminished crop yields, the pharaoh's ability to provide for the people was compromised, leading to widespread hunger and discontent. The social fabric of ancient Egyptian society began to fray as the lower classes struggled to survive, and the once stable agricultural economy became increasingly unstable. The inability to maintain food security not only weakened the loyalty of the populace to the pharaoh, but also fueled further unrest and rebellion against the ruling authority. Economic instability during the decline of the Old Kingdom was further exacerbated by the loss of trade routes and resources. As the central authority weakened, the ability to maintain and protect trade networks diminished. The once thriving economy, which relied on the exchange of goods with neighboring regions, began to suffer as trade became less reliable. This decline in trade not only reduced the wealth of the kingdom, but also limited access to essential resources, further contributing to the economic challenges faced by the pharaoh and the state. The combination of internal strife, the rise of provincial governors, and the impact of famine and economic instability ultimately led to the collapse of the Old Kingdom. By the end of the 6th dynasty, the centralized authority of the pharaoh had eroded significantly, resulting in a fragmented political landscape characterized by competing regional powers. The once great civilization that had built the pyramids and established a rich cultural legacy found itself in a state of decline, leading to a period known as the First Intermediate Period, marked by political fragmentation and social upheaval. In conclusion, the decline of the Old Kingdom was a complex process influenced by a multitude of factors. Internal strife and challenges faced by the monarchy weakened the central authority of the pharaoh, while the rise of provincial governors further fragmented power and undermined governance. The impact of famine and economic instability exacerbated these challenges, leading to widespread discontent and unrest among the populace. As the Old Kingdom succumbed to these pressures, It set the stage for a new era in ancient Egyptian history, characterized by political fragmentation and the eventual rise of new dynasties. The lessons learned from this decline would resonate throughout Egyptian history, shaping the future of the civilization and its enduring legacy. The first intermediate period of ancient Egypt, which lasted from approximately 2181 to 2055 BCE, was a time of significant transformation characterized by fragmentation of power, cultural and social changes, and a notable decline in monumental construction and centralized governance. This era followed the decline of the Old Kingdom and marked a departure from the stability and grandeur that had defined the previous period. The first intermediate period is often viewed as a time of chaos and uncertainty, but it also laid the groundwork for future developments in Egyptian civilization. One of the most prominent characteristics of the first intermediate period was the fragmentation of power and the rise of local rulers, known as nomarchs. As the authority of the pharaoh weakened during the decline of the Old Kingdom, regional governors began to assert their independence, leading to a decentralized political landscape. These nomarchs, who had previously served as loyal administrators under the pharaoh, took advantage of the power vacuum created by the collapse of centralized authority. They established their own power bases, often competing with one another for resources and influence. This fragmentation of power resulted in a lack of unity within the kingdom, as different regions operated independently under their local rulers. The political landscape became increasingly complex, with various factions vying for control. This competition among local rulers often led to conflicts and power struggles, further destabilizing the region. The absence of a strong central authority meant that the pharaoh's role as the divine ruler was diminished, and the once cohesive state of Egypt was replaced by a patchwork of competing territories. The cultural and social changes during the first intermediate period were significant and reflected the shifting dynamics of Egyptian society. With the decline of the centralized state, traditional norms and practices began to evolve. The power of the nomarchs allowed for greater local autonomy, leading to variations in cultural practices and artistic expressions across different regions. This period saw the emergence of new artistic styles and forms of expression that were distinct from the monumental art of the Old Kingdom. Local rulers often commissioned their own tombs and monuments, resulting in a diversification of artistic themes and techniques. The first intermediate period also witnessed changes in religious practices. While the pharaoh had previously been viewed as the primary intermediary between the gods and the people, the rise of local rulers led to a more localized approach to worship. Regional deities gained prominence, and local cults flourished as communities sought to establish their own religious identities. This shift in religious focus reflected the broader social changes occurring during this time, as people began to identify more closely with their local rulers and communities, rather than a distant pharaoh. Despite the cultural and social changes, one of the most notable characteristics of the first intermediate period was the lack of monumental construction. The grand architectural projects that had defined the Old Kingdom, such as the pyramids and massive temples, came to a halt during this time. The decline in monumental construction can be attributed to several factors, including the fragmentation of power and the economic instability that plagued the kingdom. With local rulers focused on consolidating their power and resources, there was little incentive or ability to undertake large-scale building projects. The absence of monumental architecture during the first intermediate period also reflected the decline of centralized governance. The pharaohs of the Old Kingdom had commissioned vast construction projects as a means of demonstrating their divine authority and ensuring their legacy. However, with the fragmentation of power and the rise of local rulers, the focus shifted away from grand monuments to more practical concerns related to governance and survival. The lack of monumental construction during this period is indicative of the broader societal changes taking place as communities adapted to the new political realities and prioritized local needs over grand displays of power. The first intermediate period was also marked by economic challenges that contributed to the decline of centralized governance. The disruptions caused by the fragmentation of power and the lack of a unified state led to economic instability. Trade routes became less secure, and the once thriving economy of the Old Kingdom suffered as a result. The inability to maintain agricultural production and manage resources effectively further exacerbated the challenges faced by local rulers. As a consequence, the focus shifted from monumental construction to ensuring food security and managing local economies. In conclusion, the first intermediate period of ancient Egypt was characterized by fragmentation of power, cultural and social changes, and a decline in monumental construction and centralized governance. The rise of local rulers, or nomarchs, led to a decentralized political landscape, resulting in competition and conflict among different regions. Cultural practices evolved as communities adapted to their new realities, leading to a diversification of artistic expressions and religious beliefs. The lack of monumental construction during this period reflected the decline of centralized authority and the prioritization of local needs over grand displays of power. While the first intermediate period is often viewed as a time of chaos and uncertainty, it also laid the groundwork for the eventual reunification of Egypt and the emergence of the Middle Kingdom, a period marked by renewed stability and cultural flourishing. The legacy of this era continues to resonate in the history of ancient Egypt, highlighting the complexities of governance, culture, and society during a transformative time. The Middle Kingdom of ancient Egypt, spanning from approximately 2055 to 1650 BCE, is often regarded as a period of renaissance and cultural flourishing following the tumultuous First Intermediate period. This era was marked by the reunification of Egypt under the leadership of Pharaoh Mentuhotep II, significant advancements in art, literature, and architecture, and the expansion of trade and military campaigns. The Middle Kingdom laid the groundwork for a renewed sense of identity and stability in ancient Egyptian civilization, showcasing the resilience and ingenuity of its people. The reunification of Egypt under Mentuhotep II was a pivotal moment in the history of the Middle Kingdom. After a prolonged period of fragmentation and local rule during the First Intermediate period, Mentuhotep II, the pharaoh of the 11th dynasty, successfully reasserted central authority and unified the country around 2055 BCE. His reign marked the end of the political chaos that had characterized the previous era and initiated a new phase of stability and prosperity. Mentuhotep II is often credited with restoring the power of the pharaoh and re-establishing the administrative structures necessary for effective governance. His successful military campaigns against rival nomarchs and his ability to consolidate power allowed him to bring Egypt back under a single rule, fostering a sense of national unity. The achievements of the Middle Kingdom extended beyond political reunification. This period is renowned for its advancements in art, literature, and architecture. The artistic expressions of the Middle Kingdom reflected a shift in style and themes compared to the Old Kingdom. Artists began to focus on more naturalistic representations, emphasizing realism and emotional depth in their works. Statues and reliefs from this period often depicted individuals with greater individuality and personality, showcasing the skill and creativity of Egyptian artisans. The use of new materials, such as wood and faience, allowed for greater experimentation in artistic techniques, resulting in a rich array of decorative objects and sculptures. Literature also flourished during the Middle Kingdom, with the emergence of a distinct literary tradition. The period saw the production of significant literary works, including wisdom literature, poetry, and narratives that explored themes of morality, governance, and the human experience. One of the most famous literary texts from this era is the Tale of Sinuhe, a narrative that tells the story of an official who flees Egypt and later returns, reflecting on themes of identity, loyalty, and the nature of power. This work, along with others, highlights the intellectual and cultural advancements of the time, as well as the Egyptians' deep engagement with philosophical and ethical questions. Architecturally, the Middle Kingdom is notable for the construction of impressive temples, tombs, and other monumental structures. The pharaohs of this period shifted their focus from the grand pyramids of the Old Kingdom to more elaborate mortuary temples and rock-cut tombs. The Temple of Karnak, dedicated to the god Amun, began to take shape during this time, becoming one of the most significant religious sites in ancient Egypt. The use of sandstone and limestone in construction allowed for the creation of intricate carvings and hieroglyphs that adorned temple walls, showcasing the religious devotion and artistic skill of the era. The Middle Kingdom also witnessed the expansion of trade and military campaigns, which played a crucial role in the kingdom's prosperity. The pharaohs sought to establish and maintain trade networks with neighboring regions, including Nubia, the Levant, and the Eastern Mediterranean. These trade routes facilitated the exchange of goods, resources, and ideas, enriching Egyptian society and contributing to its economic stability. The acquisition of valuable materials such as gold, copper, and exotic goods bolstered the wealth of the kingdom and allowed for further investment in cultural and architectural projects. Military campaigns during the Middle Kingdom were also significant, as the pharaohs sought to expand Egypt's influence and secure its borders. Pharaohs such as Senusret I and Senusret III led successful military expeditions into Nubia, where they established control over valuable gold mines and trade routes. These campaigns not only enhanced Egypt's wealth, but also solidified its power in the region. The military successes of the Middle Kingdom contributed to a sense of national pride and unity, reinforcing the pharaoh's role as a protector of the kingdom and its people. The Middle Kingdom was also marked by a renewed emphasis on governance and administration. The pharaohs implemented reforms to strengthen the central government and improve the efficiency of tax collection and resource management. The establishment of a more organized bureaucracy allowed for better oversight of local governors and the administration of justice. This focus on governance contributed to the stability and prosperity of the kingdom, ensuring that the benefits of trade and military conquests were effectively utilized for the welfare of the population. In conclusion, the Middle Kingdom of ancient Egypt was a period of remarkable achievements characterized by the reunification of the country under Mentuhotep II, advancements in art, literature, and architecture, and the expansion of trade and military campaigns. The successful consolidation of power and the restoration of centralized governance laid the foundation for a flourishing civilization that engaged deeply with cultural and intellectual pursuits. The artistic and literary advancements of the Middle Kingdom reflected a society that valued creativity and expression, while the expansion of trade and military influence ensured economic stability and growth. As a result, the Middle Kingdom stands as a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of ancient Egyptian civilization, leaving a lasting legacy that would influence subsequent periods in Egyptian history. The New Kingdom of ancient Egypt, spanning from approximately 1550 to 1070 BCE, is often regarded as the height of Egyptian civilization, marked by significant military expansion, remarkable cultural achievements, and monumental architectural endeavors. This period followed the Middle Kingdom and the Second Intermediate Period, during which Egypt experienced foreign invasions and internal strife. The New Kingdom is characterized by a resurgence of power and stability, leading to the expansion of Egypt's borders and the establishment of a vast empire that extended into neighboring regions. One of the most notable aspects of the New Kingdom was the expansion of Egypt's borders through military conquests. Pharaohs during this period sought to assert Egypt's dominance in the region, leading to a series of successful military campaigns. The most significant of these campaigns occurred under the reign of Pharaoh Thutmose III, often referred to as the Napoleon of Egypt. Thutmose III conducted numerous military expeditions into Nubia, the Levant, and even as far as the Euphrates River, establishing Egypt as a formidable power in the ancient world. His military prowess allowed for the acquisition of valuable resources, including gold, silver, and exotic goods, which contributed to the wealth and stability of the kingdom. The New Kingdom also saw the rise of key figures who played pivotal roles in shaping Egyptian history. One of the most prominent of these figures was Hatshepsut, one of the few female pharaohs in ancient Egypt. Hatshepsut ruled during the 18th dynasty and is known for her ambitious building projects and successful trade expeditions. She established trade networks with regions such as Punt, which brought valuable resources like incense, gold, and exotic animals to Egypt. Hatshepsut's reign is often characterized by a focus on economic prosperity and cultural development, as she commissioned numerous temples and monuments, including her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari, which stands as a testament to her architectural vision and political acumen. Another key figure of the New Kingdom was Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great, who reigned for an impressive 66 years during the 19th dynasty. Ramses II is often celebrated for his military achievements, particularly his campaigns against the Hittites and his famous victory at the Battle of Kadesh. This battle, fought around 1274 BCE, is one of the most documented military engagements in ancient history, showcasing Ramses II's strategic prowess and leadership. Following the battle, Ramses II negotiated one of the earliest known peace treaties, solidifying Egypt's influence in the region and establishing diplomatic relations with the Hittites. Ramses II's reign is also marked by extraordinary cultural and architectural achievements. He commissioned the construction of numerous monumental structures, including the grand temples at Abu Simbel, which were carved into the mountainside and adorned with colossal statues of the pharaoh. These temples served not only as places of worship, but also as symbols of Ramses II's power and divine status. The grandeur of these structures reflected the wealth and artistic capabilities of the New Kingdom, as artisans and laborers worked to create lasting legacies that would endure for millennia. The New Kingdom was also a period of significant cultural advancements. The arts flourished during this time, with an emphasis on realism and detail in sculpture and painting. The depiction of pharaohs and deities became more lifelike, reflecting the evolving artistic techniques and the desire to convey the divine nature of the rulers. Literature also thrived, with the production of religious texts, poetry, and historical records that documented the achievements of the pharaohs and the cultural identity of the Egyptian people. In addition to military and cultural achievements, the New Kingdom was characterized by a complex religious landscape. The pharaoh was viewed as a divine figure, and the worship of gods such as Amun, Osiris, and Isis played a central role in society. The construction of grand temples dedicated to these deities became a hallmark of the New Kingdom, with the Temple of Karnak in Thebes emerging as one of the most significant religious sites in ancient Egypt. The temple complex was expanded and adorned with impressive statues, obelisks, and intricate carvings, reflecting the devotion of the pharaohs and the people to their gods. The New Kingdom also witnessed the establishment of a more organized and efficient administrative system. The pharaohs implemented reforms to strengthen the central government, allowing for better management of resources, taxation, and trade. This administrative efficiency contributed to the stability and prosperity of the kingdom, ensuring that the benefits of military conquests and trade were effectively utilized for the welfare of the population. In conclusion, the New Kingdom of ancient Egypt represents a significant chapter in the civilization's history, characterized by military expansion, key figures such as Hatshepsut and Ramses II, and remarkable cultural and architectural achievements. The successful military campaigns during this period established Egypt as a dominant power in the ancient world, while the reigns of influential pharaohs fostered economic prosperity and cultural flourishing. The monumental architecture and artistic advancements of the New Kingdom reflect the ingenuity and creativity of the Egyptian people, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to captivate the world today. As we explore the significance of the New Kingdom, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of ancient Egyptian society and the enduring impact of its achievements on the course of history. The lasting impact of ancient Egyptian civilization is profound and multifaceted, influencing various aspects of modern society while continuing to captivate the imagination of people around the world. From art and architecture to religion and governance, the legacies of ancient Egypt have shaped cultural practices and societal structures throughout history. As we reflect on this enduring influence, it becomes clear that the contributions of ancient Egyptian civilization remain relevant and significant in contemporary life. One of the most notable influences of ancient Egyptian culture on modern society is evident in the realms of art and architecture. The iconic structures of ancient Egypt, particularly the pyramids and temples, have inspired countless architects and artists throughout history. The principles of symmetry, proportion, and monumental scale that characterized Egyptian architecture can be seen in various modern buildings, from government structures to museums. The use of columns, particularly those inspired by the lotus and papyrus plants, has been adopted in neoclassical architecture, reflecting the enduring aesthetic appeal of ancient Egyptian design. Moreover, the artistic styles and motifs of ancient Egypt continue to resonate in contemporary art. The use of hieroglyphs, vibrant colors, and symbolic imagery has influenced artists across cultures, leading to a revival of interest in Egyptian themes in modern art. This fascination with Egyptian aesthetics is evident in various forms of media, including film, literature, and fashion, where elements of ancient Egyptian culture are often incorporated to evoke a sense of mystery and grandeur. The continued fascination with Egyptian history and archaeology is another testament to the civilization's lasting impact. The discovery of ancient sites, artifacts, and tombs has sparked immense interest among historians, archaeologists, and the general public. The unearthing of treasures such as the tomb of Tutankhamun in 1922 by Howard Carter captivated the world and reignited interest in ancient Egypt. This discovery not only provided valuable insights into the lives and beliefs of the ancient Egyptians, but also highlighted the importance of preserving archaeological sites for future generations. Museums around the world, including the British Museum and the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, house extensive collections of ancient Egyptian artifacts, allowing people to engage with this rich history. Exhibitions featuring mummies, jewelry, and everyday objects from ancient Egypt continue to draw large crowds, reflecting the public's enduring curiosity about this remarkable civilization. The study of ancient Egypt has also become a prominent field within academia, with scholars dedicated to uncovering the mysteries of the past and interpreting the significance of Egyptian culture. The preservation of traditions rooted in ancient Egyptian civilization is another aspect of its lasting impact. Many customs and practices that originated in ancient Egypt have been passed down through generations, influencing the cultural identity of modern Egyptians. For instance, the celebration of certain festivals, such as the Wepet Renpe, the Egyptian New Year, reflects the continuity of ancient traditions in contemporary society. Additionally, the significance of the Nile River, which was central to the lives of the ancient Egyptians, remains vital to the culture and economy of modern Egypt. The Nile continues to be a source of life and sustenance for millions of people, providing water for agriculture, fishing, and transportation. The river's annual flooding, which once brought fertile silt to the fields, is still celebrated in various cultural practices. The connection between the Nile and the people of Egypt is deeply ingrained in their identity, symbolizing resilience and continuity in the face of change. The river's importance is also reflected in literature, art, and folklore, where it is often depicted as a life-giving force that sustains the land and its inhabitants. Furthermore, the religious beliefs and practices of ancient Egypt have left a lasting legacy that can be seen in various spiritual traditions today. The ancient Egyptians' reverence for the afterlife, their pantheon of gods, and their elaborate burial practices have influenced subsequent religious thought and practices. Elements of Egyptian mythology can be found in various cultures, and the symbolism associated with ancient Egyptian deities continues to resonate in modern spiritual beliefs. The impact of ancient Egyptian civilization extends beyond cultural and artistic realms. It has also influenced governance and legal systems. The concept of centralized authority, as exemplified by the role of the pharaoh, has shaped political structures in various societies throughout history. The administrative practices developed by the ancient Egyptians, including record-keeping and taxation, laid the groundwork for future bureaucratic systems. The emphasis on law and order, as well as the importance of justice, can be traced back to the principles established during ancient Egyptian times. In conclusion, the lasting impact of ancient Egyptian civilization is evident in numerous aspects of modern society, from art and architecture to cultural practices and governance. The influence of ancient Egyptian culture continues to inspire and captivate people around the world, reflecting a deep-seated fascination with its history and achievements. The preservation of traditions and the significance of the Nile River serve as reminders of the resilience and continuity of Egyptian identity. As we explore the legacies of ancient Egypt, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of its civilization and its enduring contributions to the tapestry of human history. The echoes of ancient Egypt resonate through time, reminding us of the richness of our shared cultural heritage and the importance of understanding the past as we navigate the present and future. In this video, we have embarked on an enlightening journey through the rich tapestry of ancient Egyptian civilization, exploring its profound impact on history and culture. We began by examining the pre-dynastic period, where early Egyptians transitioned from hunter-gatherer societies to settled agricultural communities, laying the groundwork for one of the world's earliest civilizations. The domestication of animals and the cultivation of crops, particularly along the fertile banks of the Nile, were pivotal in this transformation, allowing for the establishment of complex societies. As we moved into the dynastic periods, we highlighted the significance of the Old Kingdom, marked by the construction of the iconic pyramids and the emergence of powerful pharaohs. The architectural achievements of this era, particularly the Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu, showcased the advanced engineering skills and organizational capabilities of the ancient Egyptians. We also discussed the role of the pharaoh as a divine ruler, responsible for maintaining order and prosperity, and how this authority began to wane during the First Intermediate Period, leading to fragmentation and local rule. The video then transitioned to the Middle Kingdom, a time of reunification under Pharaoh Mentuhotep II, where we saw a resurgence in art, literature, and architecture. This period was characterized by significant cultural advancements and the establishment of trade networks that enriched Egyptian society. We also explored the New Kingdom, which represented the pinnacle of ancient Egyptian civilization, marked by military expansion, key figures like Hatshepsut and Ramses II, and remarkable cultural and architectural achievements, including the grand temples and monuments that still inspire awe today. Throughout our exploration, we emphasized the importance of understanding ancient Egypt's contributions to civilization. The innovations in governance, art, architecture, and religious thought laid the foundations for many aspects of modern society. The legacy of ancient Egypt continues to resonate, influencing everything from architectural design to cultural practices and spiritual beliefs. By studying this remarkable civilization, we gain valuable insights into the complexities of human history and the enduring impact of cultural achievements. As we conclude this journey through ancient Egypt, we encourage you to engage with the content and share your thoughts. If you found this video informative and inspiring, please consider subscribing to our channel for more captivating content on history and culture. Your support helps us continue to create engaging videos that explore the fascinating stories of our past. Don't forget to like and share this video with friends and family who might also be interested in learning about the wonders of ancient Egypt. Together, we can foster a deeper appreciation for the rich heritage that shapes our world today. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of ancient Egyptian civilization. We hope you enjoyed the journey and look forward to sharing more historical insights with you in future videos. Your engagement is invaluable, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. Let's continue to uncover the mysteries of history together.